So let's get into this video. So we're gonna we're gonna react to no one other than the infamous, can I get a jump rope please, just Jazzy. So why wouldn't I make the first video, my first reaction video for my girl? So we're gonna react to my girl Just Jazzy. I just picked a random video, as y'all can see by the title of this video. It's the title of her video, so we reacted to her video called This Is My Truth. All right, so you ready? Here we go.
So I need all my mommies to come a little closer to the camera. Not even moms, parents in general, guardians. Come here, friend. I need you. We talked about parenting and all sorts of things. I really thought, you gotta remember, it's a first time for everything. I have 4 children, so the kid thing I got down pat, you know? Pushed a ton of them out my cooch. I know how it goes. I genuinely didn't know, like, it gets harder. So I thought the baby phase was the hardest phase.
So I'm gonna stop right there real quick because I know it's about to get juicy. But guys, honestly, I too thought the baby phase was like the hardest of the hardest, and I still to this day think that. But I also know that it has been a challenge as time goes on with children. You just really learn as you go, and you can have 40 children. Every child is different, so like I definitely feel her with that one.
And life gets better. I thought that it gets easier because the baby phase is the hardest phase. Like, you have this baby, it's just horrible, it's shitty, you have to learn everything. This teenager phase, I don't want it. You can keep it. Y'all did not tell me teenage years is a whole nother world. Like, I've raised these babies and I had them all back to back to back. So I was like, baby after baby after baby after baby. And I thought I had the baby shit down pat. So life must get easier from here. Because I done did the hardest duty.
Guys, honestly, it's... I really want to give a shout out to Just Jazzy. Honestly, she has 4 children. Honestly, y'all already know that. If you don't know, she does have 4 children and she has a toddler as well. And I just want to definitely give her a pat on the back because she really do an amazing job of raising her children. Honestly, she don't give herself enough credit. And I know it may sound like, oh my God, you so stressed out and you got 4 children and you don't know what to do. But honestly, guys, she's one of those parents who's like an overachiever. And she wants to make sure that she really get the job done. And she want to make sure she's doing the right thing. And she just like very hard on herself. I tell her all the time, like, honestly, there's no manual to parenting, girl. There is no manual to parenting. Like, you really have to learn as you go when it comes to being a parent. And like when you feel like the world is judging your every move, like, it's like you're an open book, and each time somebody read that book, they got a different perspective on your life and who you are as a person. And if you look at life in that manner, you're gonna struggle because you're gonna always consider what people think about you. And then not only that, if you look at your own self and judge yourself so much to the point where it's just like, yo, at this point you're your own enemy. You have to relax. You doing a great job, mama. Like, you doing good. You doing the best that you can. And everybody struggle with this teenage phase. Everybody struggle as a parent with not knowing how to. And although people are gonna probably be in your face saying they have the right answers, or you should have done it this way, or they would have done it this way, the thing about life is everybody live their life according to their own family values and beliefs. So nobody's correct. There's no right or wrong. Every children is different. Every child is different. So whatever approach one person may use and it may have worked, it may not work for your child because every child is different. So remember that.
This teenager life, I cannot. Nobody gives a mother a voice, right? You always, just like in relationships, you know how you got to get on the social media and pretend like your relationship is the shit when all while you hate it there. But you can't, because people are going to judge you. When it comes to parenting, everybody's a mother goose. I'm going to be the first to let you know, this is crazy, okay? This teenager life, I've never done this before. My babies are little. I did baby phases, but I've never done this. First of all, I have a 13-year-old. This child of mine wants to sit in the room all day. All day. All day. Okay? She wants to sit in the room. So I have to go in there, tell her, put the phone down, come out here and interact.
Guys, when I thought about the teenage phase when I was a teenager, honestly, I wasn't in a room on a phone, but I really was into my friends. So I think that's what it is now with teenagers. Like, because we live in a world of technology, is a little bit different because people are not outside, but they want to be around their friends. And even when they get home from school, they want to still interact with their friends. So they have this thing now where, like, they're on the iPad. They want to interact with their friends all day, even after school. And honestly, it's a kid thing. And I think that one thing that is different from when you talk about geographics and you talk about like being like demographics, you think about like things like activities and stuff like that and what provided in the area that you live in versus like other places. So for example, in North Carolina, because that's the only state I'm really familiar with when it comes to activities and stuff like that, they have like so many activities that are not expensive at all for children to do. And so like when you think about places like New York and like especially Brooklyn, East New York, when you think about like extracurricular activities, a lot of times there's none because of COVID. And if there are any, they're not free and it's very expensive. So like instead of kids being like on their tablets and on their computers and stuff like that, or speaking to their friends all day, they can't get involved in anything because there's nothing going on right now for kids outside. And the things that are happening, like I said, you have to pay a lot of money for it. So it is a struggle, and I feel for you, man. I understand definitely what you going through, and I don't know. Sometimes I even think like, I wish I can give advice. Clearly, guys, I only have a 2-year-old, and so I don't even know. I'm still learning when it comes to him. So yeah, I don't know. I think that as parents, we don't have enough support groups and enough women who are willing to be, enough women who are willing to be. Give me 1 second, Kyro. When it comes to parenting, guys, you really don't have a manual, and I mean enough support. So I think that when it comes to parenting in general, like the support of other women is not there, and I think we should start doing that more. Like women, especially women like my girlfriend. Like if there were more people out there who would not fake the front and act like they have this perfect family and that they don't struggle with their teenagers and like they don't struggle at all, it will be more people that's providing support and you can figure it out together. Whereas people are so judgmental, they'll be like, well, not me. It ain't, I don't know what you're talking about. Or you shouldn't want to be friends with your kids. And that's why, and they have all the reasons why it's happening instead of the reasons why you guys can figure out solutions and what are the alternatives to the situation.
Because my fear as a parent is I'm going to miss something. Y'all ready for me to be transparent? A lot of y'all about to clutch your pearls because I'm about to tell you my personal business, because feel free to judge me. I started having sex at 13 years old.
All right, now, you did it a little too soon, but we ain't going to judge you, baby.
I feel like my mother missed everything. And although my mother was very present, and I was under her ass, and she still missed it. So I'm in fear that I'm going to miss something. So I have to be that parent. And I have to find this boundary between respecting your privacy and give me that goddamn phone and don't play with me, right? What I do is, because as a parent, don't think you felt. My mom, she didn't fail because I had sex at 13. I was fast in my little ass.
Guys, I'm going to stop there because you know what? The video is getting juicy, but the video is lengthy and Kyro is not letting me be great tonight. Honestly, guys, I think that to wrap it up though, I really love watching videos like this because I think that honestly you just never know. So comment down in the comment section below, what are some tips and tricks that you do, especially for those of you who have teenagers? What are some things that you do to not be so overwhelming to your teenager and not allow them to feel like they can trust you, but to be present enough and active enough and a little bit of like, you know, cybersecurity, but a little bit of like, you know, overprotective without being overly protective. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to make sure that you are very cognizant of what's going on in your teenager's life and what they're doing. And honestly, for me in particular, I don't think that any teenager should have a password on their phone. And if they do, I definitely should have the password. I think that for me personally, I will go through my teenager's phone every night. And the reason why I would do that is because I want to know what's going on, and not to find stuff that's like, oh, because I want to go see if they talking to boys, or oh, because I want to go see if they having sex, or because but really because mental health is real. And realistically, you honestly have not seen a lot of people who, when you see these younger kids committing suicide, or you see these younger kids doing things that are like not within their nature, that the nature that you know them to be. Once you go through that phone, you see that the last conversation was them telling their friends that they hate themselves, or them telling their friends that they hate something that they can't put up with in their life, or that they overly in love and that they got a heartbreak or whatever. So like sometimes you could tap into that person and you might feel like you the top spy, or you feel like you're overdoing it, but nah, sometimes you need to know what's really going down in your child's life, and they'll tell a friend before they tell you, and so you don't want to miss that moment. So me personally, like I said before, there's no right or wrong. I will go through my child's phone every night. The password, they wouldn't have one unless they have one that we both know. The location on the phones will be shared, because and honestly, you could either take it as one or two things. I'm being overprotective, or I'm being cautious, because not just because I want to know where they're at, but because I want to know that they're safe. If you don't know, if you're not answering my phone call, I'm not gonna go into a panic, because I can simply just go see your location, where you at, and I know, oh, she's walking to the train, or she's walking to the class, or whatever's going on at the time. And I think that certain things that technology allows us to do today is very, very much beneficial, because we could really tap into a lot of things without a question. Like, you know, you could even have messages being sent to your phone. And honestly, for me, when you live in my house, there's no privacy. I'm being honest, because what do you need to be private about? You clearly still living under my roof because you're not old enough to have your own. And so at 13, 14, 15, what do you need to be private about, sweetheart? And technically at that age, you have a phone for personal, not for personal use, but for safety reasons. So because you're probably in school and I need to contact you, because you leave in the house, honestly, we get so caught up in like these electronics that it's like, all right, you have a phone because I'ma personally let you use it all day to talk to your friends. Then you tap out of reality and it's like, yo, you ain't do nothing but stay on that phone all day. Now, me personally, when it comes to the teenager life, I want to make sure that I'm and like I said, there's no right or wrong. I'm not saying that this is a right thing. I'm saying that when it comes to the teenager life, I just prefer to be more like hands-on, not in the phone all day. I would prefer to look at that phone every night, or not even every night, but every other night, random nights, so that they won't know, because kids get slick too. They'll know that you're looking at their phone, they start hiding stuff. So it's like, I would do that. I would even do that if I feel like they being suspicious, or they give me a reason to think they lying about something or being sneaky. Now I'm gonna take it a step further, and we're gonna share stuff. So there's a little thing, especially on iPhones, where you can have their messages sent to your phone as well. I'll do that. And the shared location, I'll definitely do that. I think that when you start to be so afraid of feeling like you're overwhelming your child, that's when you miss certain things. And I think that it's not about being overwhelming, it's about conversation. Because if you be overwhelming and you communicate why you're being overwhelming, it's like, all right, I understand, versus like, just give me your phone, give me a password, I'm checking this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Nah, positive reinforcement is a thing, guys. So like, not telling them that you can't, but telling them this is how we do things in my household moving forward. And these are the options you have, because I really believe in like giving kids options and autonomy, but realistic options. So these are the options you have, and you can select within these options your way of going about these things, but these are the options. And the options are going to be realistic things to make sure that, one, you're being safe, two, that I can be interacting with you and understand what's going on in your life, and three, to make sure that I'm proactive as a parent. And so like, that's giving them autonomy. They have a choice, they have options, and you're also using positive reinforcement by not just pointing a finger and saying don't and you better not and you did, you're giving them a positive outlook and a redirection. And so I think that those can be some tips and tricks. I don't know it all, but I'm not saying this right, but these are some things that I would do. Look, I would do, and it may not work. It may not work. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm saying it may not work, and I'm saying that it's tips and tricks. But guys, I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to come join the K Squad. I love y'all. I stuck to it. Guys, let me tell y'all, it was hard. The devil was working today and did not want me to get this video out, but I'm gonna get this video out by any means necessary. I love y'all. Holla back.